Were you expecting someone else? Let's start the show.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Give me back, eat that. Hey, I want to play the beer reviews. These toasted strudels. Eat that.
Consider this an invitation to my gangster name.
Let's get ready to rumble!
It's me, P-double-D-E Tepwa, cooing in the place to be reviews right here with all of yous Monday night going in Raw, episode 140, the Fandom Menace People's Champion, the most electrifying man in the Fandom Menace. Oh, it feels good to be back on Monday night. And we always go in Raw here, baby. That's how we do. We don't fuck around. No, we don't play. Let me introduce to you my co-host with the most, ladies and gentlemen, though, Mr. Tony Tone Deaf.
It is the owner of the worst channel on YouTube and commander to the legion of deaf heads, the world's wokest warrior, primitive-sided, toxic fanboy aligned with the like-minded. Tony Tone Deaf rocking with you. Monday night going in Raw, the place to be reviews. What's up, everybody out there in the chat? Gentlemen on the panel, the pleasure's always mine. I'm looking forward to a great show and a great week.
Thank you for joining us as always, Tony. Let me bring in our next guest. He's making his debut here. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the J-Man.
All right. Thanks so much for having me on, guys. I'm really looking forward to it. This is like pretty exciting here. I'm, just happy to be here.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you for joining us. Last, but certainly not least, he's one half of the team over at Echo Base Network. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nicholas Glenn.
Hell, guys, yes, I am one half of Echo Base Network, the most overhyped channel in the Fandom Menace. And yeah, I'm happy to be here. Looking forward to it. It's always a pleasure being on with ETEP and all the guys here.
Well, thank you for joining us, brother. I appreciate it. I know you're a busy man. I appreciate your time. I appreciate my people in the chat as well. Phoenix Animation, Daisy Divine, Keely Chow, and all the Keely bots are here this evening, ladies and gentlemen. I say Keely bots not because Keely Chow is a bot, but Keely Chow is like everywhere. He is like fucking Skynet, man.
Ultron.
Keely Chow is Ultron. That is about the best way to describe it. Any chat, any live stream that has anything to do with the Fandom Menace or Fandom Menace subsidiary, Keely Chow is there, man. He's there. Yeah. He's supportive as hell. He's a great fucking dude. So thank you for joining us, Keely. We appreciate it, brother. We do.
Yeah, he actually lives up in Huntsville, Alabama, just north of me and just east of Coach.
So are you a Auburn or are you a Roll Tide guy?
Me and Coach are both Auburn guys.
Both Auburn. See,
yeah.
I kind of loosely followed Alabama. I'm a Buckeyes fan myself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I kind of loosely followed Bama for a few years. It's because they turn out so many fucking good players. I mean,
yeah, it's getting old for us down here.
Dude, it's like living here. Like, see, I'm not a Michigan or a Michigan State fan, but like, because like I was like, you guys can just fight over the table scraps, and Ohio State will just walk in and beat the shit out of both of you. So that's usually the way it goes.
I was actually rooting for Ohio State in the national championship game this year.
You know. It's funny. Coach Loudy, that used to be on my show, even dating back to the Anchor days, he actually was on the staff there as a grad assistant for like 2014, I think 2014 or 2015. He was on there. He sent me some shirts and stuff. I'm like, all right, I got some official locker room gear now. I dig that, man. But before I get too far down the college football rabbit hole here, we've got a segment we usually start out with here called Just the Headlines. We give you the headlines, and yeah, the panel will give you their opinions on this ridiculousness. So let's get it started.
Kick your fucking ass! I want you off the fucking set!
It's not my Luke Skywalker.
Hey, no, don't just be sorry. Please, for 1 fucking second.
All right, yeah, as we have the dulcet tones of Christian Bale there, exercising his Hollywood clout on a poor somebody working on set. Anyway, longtime Bronx teacher fired for refusing to make Black Panther salute. Court filing reads. I found this to be absolutely hilarious. Normally I don't cover stuff like this, but because it kind of offhandedly dealt with Marvel, I was like, so it's a requirement in Bronx for to do the Wakanda Forever thing. I'm like, and this teacher was like, they are I believe African American and Latino mixed. So I'm like, well, you can't really call them racist. But I'm like, that just, it doesn't make any sense to me. Anybody want to shed any light on this?
I feel like I yearn for the days when kids used to get booted out of school for doing the DX gesture, and now it's like the Wakanda's kind of similar. It's just up on your chest, and now teachers are getting booted out for not doing that. So if that says where we're at as a society, but that's a little weird, like, because Wakanda's a fictional nation, but it's like, what if I don't want to praise another nation? What if I want to praise, because they would have gotten kicked out of school for praising their own nation too, is basically what I'm saying. So that's the requirement now. You have to praise foreign nationals, or I don't know.
Bow down to the great fictional nation of Wakanda, I suppose. Guns are primitive, but most of our weaponry is still based on spears, and there's mud huts intermingled with the vibranium fucking mines and whatnot.
Fucking CGI rhinos.
Well, this is like such an outrageous article. I mean, when I saw this, I didn't even understand what they meant, to be honest. And I've seen Black Panther a few times, and I'm a big time Marvel guy.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, she meant the cross, and this teacher, she was close to retirement, right? So she's obviously been a valued member of this school, and for them to sort of like get rid of her based on this is really, I mean, it's funny. It'd be very funny if it wasn't as sad as it is, to think that I put my life into this teaching position only to be cast out for a fictional character in a fictional world with a fictional, like, this doesn't have any meaning.
No.
It's like live long and prosper. Like, does it matter if you say it or not?
Yeah. It's not like she was casting aspersions on, even she wasn't even like making fun of Wakanda. She just like, hey, I'm not going to do that. And it's like, it's like, that reminds me of Seinfeld, to kind of bring this back to pop culture. It's like Kramer's like, I don't want to wear the ribbon. They're like, what do you mean you don't want to wear the ribbon? You have to wear the ribbon. Everybody wears the ribbon. And I just say, who doesn't want to wear the ribbon?
I remember that episode.
Yeah, and he gets beat up for it. This is basically like what happened. It's like, instead of beating her up, they took away her fucking tenure probably and her pension. I mean, Jesus.
And this is a popcorn action film. I mean, this has nothing to do with, I mean, I know that people have attributed a lot of things to this film as some sort of, grand gesture and whatever. But I mean, honestly, it's a popcorn entertainment film, and that's the way I view it. And I wouldn't take anything from that movie and apply that to a real life situation to say, if you don't do this or not, we're going to, fire you or even reprimand. Like, this should have just been like, no, I'm not comfortable doing it, and then we move on. This shouldn't be. The fact that this is even an article shows how crazy this is become. I mean, this is really this is outrageous. I don't know.
So you're talking about firing somebody. Now I'm just going to break this down before we move on. So you're talking about firing somebody from a protected a protected class, a marginalized group who is biracial, for not giving the salute of a fictional comic book country, when this person has probably suffered some slings and arrows of injustice in her time. I'm sure she's faced some adversity and probably some prejudicial behavior at some point in her life, possibly. But to me, this just seems like a huge smack in the face to somebody who is a career educator and dedicated to, molding young minds. And, it really speaks volumes about the school district and the people who are running it.
As much as I love Stan Lee, you're kicking her out for not praising a white man's creation.
He was Stan Lee's a white Jew. You know, that's the thing. It's like the people that don't know and they just know the movies and they know that Ryan Coogler, wrote and directed it. You argue in a comment thread with somebody that, and they're like, oh, well, Ryan Coogler created Black Panther. It's like, boy, Junior, you might want to buckle up because I got some news for you about who created Black Panther. Are you sitting down? It's like, yeah, Ryan Coogler did he though? Did he though?
Yeah, I think Jack Kirby had a lot to do with it.
Yeah,
Stan Lee. Like, hello.
Yep. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that the fact that this is happening to this lady over a fictional universe and is like what happened in the days of like getting sent home for wearing a Bart Simpson T-shirt at school or something. It's like now we've come to this. It's like it's ridiculous.
Yep.
I remember wearing my dad is a retired cop and he always had all kinds of like Glock and Detroit Police T-shirts. I wore a fucking T-shirt. Glock had a German and an English translation on it. The English said, a semi-automatic pistol used by law enforcement. The German said boomer for lighting up the assholesins. I wore that to school and nothing happened to me. I mean, it was just like, I'd wear these some of the Detroit Police shirts I wore. I was like, I don't know, man. My favorite one though was I never had any issues. Always like I wore the good guys wear blue ones and shit. Like I said, my dad was a undercover narcotics cop in Detroit for years, so he had all these T-shirts, and I grew up going down there and shooting. It was like I wore them, didn't think anything of it. Now it's like, Jesus, if you wore it to school or if you wore a T-shirt like that to school, you'd probably get fucking expelled.
It was the chicken pussy shirts. When I was in school, everyone was getting sent home for the chicken pussy shirts.
What up, Phoenix Writer?
Blade once, and this is the perfect quote for the situation, and I wish he would have busted it out. Blade once said, "Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill."
Yes. That is perfect. That is perfect. I like this. My son wore a Pantera shirt with a glass of whiskey on it along with the snakes. Hell yeah. I was what the hell did I wear to I work at a school and I was in there just in the gym the other day with the kids. I can't remember what shirt I wore. I almost wore this one today when I went in. My fucking Nightmare on Elm Street shirt. I'm like, I'm not gonna wear that one. I wore a Hard Glock Cafe T-shirt in there one day. The principal, her husband's a state trooper. I've known him for 25 years. So she got a kick out of it. She laughed. She goes, I got to take a picture of it and send it to David. She goes, he'll like that. I said, yeah, this shirt's, I've had this shirt since my senior year in high school. Shit. But yeah, I do that story is just ridiculous. The second one, a little less ridiculous considering on what your perspective is. Headline number 2. Daisy Ridley would, quote, love to play Spider-Woman in Sony's Marvel universe. J-Man, I want to go to you on this one first because you're a big comic aficionado.
Yes, yeah.
Myself, I am not. So I want to default to you on this one first.
So this may not be popular, but I wouldn't be against that per se. Daisy Ridley to me is a victim of poor writing.
Yes.
By the JJs and the Ryans and that group. This is someone who came in, bright-eyed thinking, wow, I'm going to be the star of Star Wars. And she was great for maybe half an hour in The Force Awakens and then slowly started to become a very poor character that was just a Luke clone and a poor one at that, which they try to elevate in the end. And I don't attribute the dislike I have for the sequel trilogy onto a particular actor. And definitely not her. So if she's going to be Spider-Woman, the script is what is ultimately what really matters. You know what I mean? I've seen Daisy in a couple of other things, and I mean, she's all right. So I wouldn't be against it. I think people might be against it only because she's too associated with playing Rey, who was not a very great developed character, and that might take people away from excitement for that casting. So I don't think that's going to happen personally, but
who wants to take this one on next? I kind of agree with what J-Man was saying. I don't really have any issue with Daisy Ridley, the actress, even though the character she played in the sequel trilogy was terrible. But like he was saying, if they make her Spider-Woman, unless they really change her appearance and her look and even the way she talks, man, it's gonna be like I'm seeing Ray, playing Spider-Woman, So
That's at least Mark Hamill got like typecast into an iconic role.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I personally, I'm kind of with Jay and Nick on this one. I actually kind of love Daisy Ridley outside of Star Wars. Yeah, she was a victim definitely of, like I said, the entire sequel trilogy came down to a dick measuring contest between, well, J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson, so it was a short contest. But seriously, she was in Murder in the Orient Express. I guess her performance in that was good from what I hear. I've never seen it. I've kind of read some reviews, and people seem to not hate her in it. I think she's delightful. If you watch her in interviews, she seems very funny and warm and personable. And she's athletic too. So I mean, she's skinny, she's very slight, but she's athletic enough to play this. Now, another person, I did a video on this a long time ago. I want to say it was back in early 2020, before the dark times. And it was about Alicia Vikander, that played Lara Croft. Now, her, I was like, yes, please. And Michael Fassbender, you lucky son of a bitch. I will say that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anakin Skywalker says, sorry, there's no volume on my end, and my volume is on high. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yep.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Ears burn off.
Okay. I just want to make sure. Too much time on the shores of Mustafar.
Yeah. And I also just checked the YouTube video. I just unmuted it, and I could hear you fine there also.
Okay. All right. Good. I just want to make sure we're good. Yeah, so I don't have a problem with Daisy Ridley playing. Is it Jessica Drew? Is that Spider-Woman?
Yep.
Okay, so as long as they don't make her do the pregnant version of it, like in the comics, please don't. please don't. That's just weird. She's out swinging up and her water breaks and put some poor son. Is it raining? No. But no, seriously, I don't have a problem with this. I really don't. Like I said, she seems like just a delightful human anyway. Somebody be kind of, and I like the fact that she's like, yeah, I swear a bit much off. I'm like, I like that she's just like, yep, just kind of, just a normal person. And she has two really good looking sisters too, which that family, the genes in that family, I'll tip the cap to Dad Ridley over there, and Ma Ridley, Ma and Pa Ridley. You guys done something right across the pond there, so big nod to you guys.
I've never seen her siblings.
Oh,
all right. Hang on a second. Yeah. Yep. This is worth sharing.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see.
I didn't even know she even had siblings.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're all lovely young ladies.
Yes.
All of them. Let's see here. All right, let's see. Let me go to screen share here. Screen share. Chrome tab. There we go. Okay, so we'll start with this one. This seems like a good place to start. But yeah, I mean, skinny, yeah. But I mean, look, seriously, dude. Do you remember Rise of Skywalker with the clone Snokes?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that was a joke. I think they cloned Rey's.
Yeah. I mean, you can definitely tell that they're all sisters.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, so yeah, like I said, the gene pool is strong over there in the Ridley family. So, I mean, can we get like 3 Spider Women? Can we do like a Ray? Can we do like a Jessica Drew Spider Verse with like 3 Jessica Drew? I mean,
yeah,
just sign them all up. What the hell? Yeah. I mean, anything's better. I mean, if Brie Larson can headline a $1 billion movie, I'm pretty sure Daisy Ridley and her sisters could come up with something.
Oh yeah.
I think we're all missing like the elephant in the room here. British people can't be superheroes.
It's never happened ever.
I mean, well, are you happy with Tom Holland?
No,
Man.
I'm not.
I'm a Toby guy.
Yep.
Toby is the best.
Yes. Spider-Man
Is that-
2 is still the best superhero movie ever made to me.
Oh,
Uncle
did
Ben.
you did you see the back and forth between Jeremy and the Amazing Lucas and how Amazing Lucas ended ended it right before he jumped out of the stream? So we got that video up. We segmented it out the 9 hours. That back and forth between Jeremy and the Amazing Lucas, and they were kind of going at it for a minute there. And at the end, he is like, the Amazing Lucas was like, "I'm going to end on this. Spider-Man 2 is the greatest comic book movie of all time, along with Tobey Maguire, or something along those lines." And then Jeremy was like, "What? Are you a Tobey guy?" And he was like, "Yep, Tobey all the way." And then they're like, "Oh yeah!" And then they were all excited and like all on the same page after they just got done having a back and forth bickering thing.
What Jeremy said, he's like, "Trust me, let us yell at each other and we'll get along better."
Yeah.
Oh God, that's funny. Yeah, I Tom Holland has potential, but it's the writing is like just kneecapping him. It is that's a lot of the problems with him. And you've taken the most recognizable and arguably the most popular superhero on the entire globe.
We're handing it to the Brits.
Yeah, and you've fucking made him, Iron Man's like little ward. I mean, you don't do that. Spider-Man's like leaps and bounds more popular than Iron Man ever was. I mean, it didn't make any sense to me that he would need. And then, like I said, what pissed me off in Far From Home and the myriad of things that pissed me off about that movie was when he meets Mysterio within 15 minutes, he just gives him the Stark tech. We just fought a battle. Here, have the keys to Stark Industries. It's like, what?
So bad.
Yeah.
Who wrote this? And now they're giving John Watts Fantastic Four, I think it is. Isn't that who's getting the Fantastic Four movies? John Watts that's doing the Spider-Man movies.
I really hope that Jennifer Lawrence is bullshit.
It is. That's debunked. That's been debunked.
Bounding into Comics reported on it after we were talking about it being debunked earlier.
Geekosity originally, Mikey Sutton covered it, and like right after, I'm like, he's usually pretty accurate, and it's debunked, so which I'm glad. I don't want to see her as Sue Storm. I mean,
she looks like she just lost her puppy all the time. She always looks so sad.
I couldn't stand her as Mystique. The best part of I cheered in the theater when she got killed. Dark Phoenix is my favorite X-Men movie for that scene.
They ruined that character.
Just kill her. They ruined it.
Yeah, I used to love Mystique. Like, I was never the biggest comic fan, but I was a big X-Men cartoon fan. My kitten's name was Mystique. I loved Mystique as a character, and even Rebecca Romaine Stamos's version was great.
Yes.
Well, she wore the makeup, and Mystique's whole shtick in the movie was that we should be allowed to be who we are, yet she's never blue. So she's hiding who she is.
Yeah.
Like, realistically, if she's following her own rhetoric, she should always be blue.
Rules for thee.
You want the makeup, right? So
again, so woke we forget to hide our racism.
Yeah. Rules for thee, but not for me, she says.
Yeah.
No, if you've ever seen Mother, then she's ruined for me after watching Mother. Nick from World Class was like, don't watch it. And I was all like, I was sitting there one night, the wife and the kid were gone. I was high. I'm like, it was on. I'm like, I'm just gonna. Oh God, why? Like, who made these conscious decisions to write this? Like, what the? Yeah, I messaged him. I was like, you were right. He goes, it's horrible. I was like, yeah, you're right, Nick. You're right. I shouldn't have done that.
Mother, I've never heard of it.
It's very pretentious. So.
Yes, it's Darren Aronofsky. So it's basically like 2.5 hours of him just like huffing his own farts. That's and I say this as somebody who loved the movie The Wrestler, because that movie like literally brought me to I spent so much time in the business, that shit brought me to fucking tears. I was like, especially now, like watching it after I've like finished my career, it's like, oh my God. Yeah.
It's a good movie.
It is. And that's probably my favorite performance of Mickey Rourke's.
Marissa Tomei was on fire and she looked great in that movie.
She did. Aunt May. Aunt May. At least it's not Aunt May Sally Field. I mean, she was past her prime right after goddamn Smokey and the Bandit. Ain't nobody want to see her play Aunt May. That's like that Family Guy clip where Stewie's like, "Have fun with that hot Sally Field. I don't like it any more than you do." All right, let's go. Number 3, The Nightmare Before Christmas 2 is happening as a young adult book, and it will focus on Sally. This from MovieWeb. First of all, nobody asked for a sequel to The Nightmare Before Christmas. That was pretty well wrapped up in the original movie. Didn't really need one. Hang on, got now. Just hail Orville Nation. How you doing, PJ? Good to see you, man.
Hail Orville Nation.
Looking forward to collabing with that guy, man. I've been waiting for a minute to kind of just connect. So we're going to have you on a stream very soon, sir. And go over, if you're not already, go over and subscribe to Orville Nation.
Yeah, he does good stuff over there.
Yep, they're doing good stuff, definitely.
And not to pick up where we were last week, but Orville, just keep grinding, man. You can be at 83 subs too.
Are we gonna buy that? My wife's showing me houses right now. She just pokes in the door to show me houses. Hi.
Does it got a pool?
It does have an indoor fucking pool.
Oh, sweet.
Which is that's gonna save us from having to build that.
Should you set up your GoFundMe before you purchase a house?
It's only $1 million. We're good. It's only a mil.
Oh,
hang on. Let me sell some of this Bitcoin and I'm good to go. Okay. Cash in my 401k. All right, hon. I gotta. Yeah. Okay. So what we're gonna need is I'm gonna need you guys all. Look, I don't have a Patreon, but if you guys send me $100 a month, I promise. I don't know something. I'm just kidding. But anyway, so this Nightmare Before Christmas thing. Yeah, my wife is on Zillow, Phoenix Writer. Does anybody? I'm a fan. I love the movie. I saw it in the theater as a kid. I love it. I still do. I watch it with my son. But I mean, as a book, I mean, it's not hurting me. I'm not like outraged about it, but it's just like it doesn't seem to make sense to me. It doesn't track. I don't know.
Cash grab.
Yep.
I mean, that's the only thing I can think of because I mean, the movie really didn't need a sequel at all.
No.
And who's going to read this? Because anyone who's interested in the young adult, genre, which is quite frankly probably the worst genre of things ever in the history of mankind. Anyone who's interested in that is probably too young to really have a fondness for The Nightmare Before Christmas, and if they do have a fondness for it, then this is just something that they're not looking for. So I'm trying to piece together the thought process of why is this a thing that somebody wants? Like, who wants this?
Starfire's daughter.
Starfire's daughter.
Like that movie's enclosed in a perfect little box of here's the whole movie.
Yep.
You don't need anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, and Sally, like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, what's she gonna do?
I know, like, she's really like her. I don't know. It doesn't. I mean, what is she? Is this a whole story away from her and Jack? Away from Jack. I mean, what? It just. I don't know. It doesn't. Like I said, it doesn't track. It doesn't make any sense. Nick Colorick, it's cash grab. So
yeah.
I just because I really don't see where they can go with it. I mean, based in the original continuity, it's like there's really. I mean, unless she goes exploring now, but I mean,
I was going to mention maybe she goes pan. That's about all there's left to tell.
Why not? It's 2021. It's the continuation of 2020 part 2.
Right.
Why not make Sally a fucking, a transformer? Who fucking cares at this point? Jesus. I mean, she's already patched together anyway. So, I mean, It's just like Legos, like on and off. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I'm just saying. I mean, there's nowhere else to go with that. It doesn't make any damn sense. These people are insane. Oh, God.
What are some other worthless sequels that didn't need to be made?
Worthless sequels?
Yeah.
I can probably name a bunch. Legally Blonde 2, Home Alone 2. Like anything where the point of the film was completed, like Legally Blonde, I found was an enjoyable movie.
Yep.
And it's like, you know, she proves that she's not stupid.
Yeah.
How could she prove that she's not stupid again? Like it's like, you know, and it's like, you know, Home Alone, we left him alone. Okay, well, you left him alone. And then it's his adventures. That was kind of interesting and fun for the family. And then now we left him alone again. Okay,
Now
but in New York this time.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Now you're just horrible parents.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was the thing about the Home Alone sequel. It's like, are they really? Shouldn't somebody call Child Protective Services at this point on these motherfuckers? Like, what did anybody ever come up? What did their parents do for a living to like have that massive ass house? Like that had to be like in that area. What like now?
He was a drug me.
It had to be like that's a couple $1 million home. Like that was a huge fucking house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that guy's got to be like back then. He was moving Tony Yayo. I mean, it was. I'll guarantee it. I'll put money on that.
Hell yeah.
Hell, Cred Sox 05. What's going on? Thank you for joining us. We were talking about what Kevin McAllister's dad did. Was he Breaking Bad back in the day? Is that how he got it in?
Yeah. So I just pulled up the Home Alone house on Zillow. 2.8 million.
I called it.
You know who his European Connect was, right?
Who?
Grandpa Charlie, or Grandpa whatever from Willy Wonka.
Oh, Uncle Charlie?
Yeah,
worthless son of a bitch.
He wasn't just laying in bed. He had some bricks under that bed.
That's why I had that big ass fucking pinky nail.
The cocaine cinematic universe.
Worthless son of a bitch lays in bed for 20 years until his kid wins a fucking chocolate factory. Then he's up dancing around like a damn fool, like Fred Astaire and shit, looking like Gene Kelly out there. There's a reference for you, kids. Only here will you get will we make fun of fucking never mind. I can't make fun of Batwoman and still reference Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly. All right, we're gonna bounce out for just a minute. We'll be right back though with our first main topic of the evening.
Boom! Tough Action Connect.
The end is nigh. The end is nigh. F***ing run away. The end is nigh.
Is this true? Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
I've been looking forward to this.
All right, we're over here on Bounding Into Comics. And
Hey, my boss is calling. I'll be right back.
Okay. Bounding Into Comics as we see the lovely Gina Carano. This article came out a couple days ago, but we're going to talk a little bit about this Ben Shapiro interview too, as kind of as we go through this article. Gina Carano calls out Disney and Lucasfilm, labels them bullies, and reveals their toxic work environment. I'm going to give you guys a chance to kind of give your opinions and thoughts on this topic before we get started. Jay, go right ahead, man. You're the guest. Go right ahead, sir. Then I'll go to Tony.
I mean, this entire Gina Carano thing has been a little bit upsetting, and I'll reference actually something from Echo Base because I did watch them discuss it with some people making points on both sides, and there were some good points being made on both sides, saying, well, you know, we live in an unfair world, and if you're at a job, there's that guy who can get away with things and you can't get away with, and that's great. But I think the big issues are when Disney as a company is presenting themselves as we are the good guys, yet they're clearly treating people differently. And it's not like I run a pizza joint and I've got a couple employees and one of them's a bum and I treat him like, you know, whatever, I think he's a bum or whatever. This is a company that's supposed to stand for families and entertainment, and they should be standing for more than what we're seeing from them. This idea that I don't like your opinion, so I can fire you with immunity and nothing's going to happen to me. I don't think it's fair, even though it might happen in the real world, and it did happen in the real world. Doesn't mean that we should allow it to happen or stand for it. I don't have Disney Plus, but I definitely would have canceled, and I'm not going to. I was thinking about getting it because of the Marvel things that were coming up, but I'm definitely not going to get it. I personally really like Gina Carano. I've liked her from before. I watched her fights. I saw Haywire in the theater. I have it on Blu-ray, and I've got the soundtrack and all that too.
It's a good movie.
It's actually a very good movie. It's very fun and exciting, and I found that her presence really, elevated it, because like there's so many other actors in that film that are great actors, and she really stands out as a and she shines, which is a testament to her. I loved Cara Dune immensely in The Mandalorian. So this was a big shocker for me personally, and I didn't like it. Now, this idea that I can tell you that if they're firing people based on what they say on Twitter or Instagram, then obviously there must be some sort of bullying or whatever. I saw half of the Ben Shapiro interview. I didn't get a chance to watch the entire thing. She comes across as a very good person,
yes,
as she always has, in my opinion, anyway. And this was just, completely, it's unfair. And I personally would not have fired her, and I would not have even fired Pedro Pascal for his tweets, because I don't care what you say on Twitter or Instagram. That's you, right?
Yeah.
But if Disney wants to present themselves as we are the good guys, then they have to present fairness, because even people that like or dislike Gina Carano have to see the hypocrisy in one person posting something that compares something to something else, and she posts something that compares something to something else, and it's the same thing, and one person is targeted and one is not. That's unfair in anyone's eyes, and anyone who doesn't think it's unfair is fooling themselves. So I definitely, I think that she was, targeted, and she was bullied, and I'm sure other people are too, and nobody wants to step up. It's very upsetting. Hopefully, one good thing with this, I hope that this is the straw. I hope that this is the straw. And if it is the straw, then maybe it was a good thing that it happened, because it might start to open up people's eyes a little bit more to what's going on.
Who wants to go next? Nick or Tony? Go right ahead.
Feel free, Nick.
What are we talking about? The Gina?
Yeah. We're just kind of talking about our initial thoughts on the whole Gina Carano thing, about her, coming out that they basically bullied her, and how they, it's basically it's their hypocrisy at Lucasfilm.
Oh yeah. Me and Coach watched her whole interview Sunday or Saturday night. Was it? No, Sunday night. It was pretty damning to Lucasfilm. And during that interview, she said Disney and corrected herself and said, Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
So she's kind of aiming it more at the people within Lucasfilm than Disney as a whole, the company. But yeah, it's definitely not a good look for them. They took one step forward with the whole Mandalorian series, bringing Luke back. Fans were excited. People were getting back on board. Then all this High Republic garbage and controversial with the Christina Ariel, who hosts the show, and all that, and then the Gina thing. I mean, it was like one step forward, 10 steps back. It's like, well, who's running stuff over there? Like literally. And I was thinking about this actually today. They really need to have some sort of connection with the fan base, like if a representative like Favreau or somebody with some bit of power over there had like a weekly or a monthly call in with somebody within the fandom, like somebody in the Fandom Menace or in other fans and other people that care about this stuff, that are have all this displeasure for Lucasfilm and what they're doing. I think if they did that and started listening to people, you know, they could maybe get back on the right path things. But Kathleen Kennedy and the job she's been doing has been god awful. How she is still employed over there is beyond me. If I don't know if they're scared of the backlash because she's a woman, or if there's contract stuff involved where they really can't let her go. I really don't know what the actual situation is, but the sooner she's out of there, the better. But then it's going to come down to who are they going to put in her place? Is it going to be any better? Is it just going to be the same old bullshit, you know, that we've been getting? But this definitely is not good for them. And if I was one of them investors, one of the major shareholders of Disney, I would be making heads roll over there over this stuff. And me and Coach have a little bit different approach on the whole Gina thing. Somewhat, we kind of understand if they had multiple conversations with her and all that sort of stuff. Like, but at the end of the day, you know, the hypocrisy and stuff there with other people that are kind of doing the same stuff, and the fact that the stuff that she's saying is being twisted and manipulated by other people to mean or say something that she wasn't even saying or meaning, you know. Her stuff's real vague, you know, but then people go out there and say, oh, well, she's saying this, she's anti-Semitic, and that has nothing to do with it. But instead of them looking into it and seeing it for what it is, you know, they just listen to all these chuckle fucks out there that are, you know, causing all this strife and stuff because of her posts and you know, bowing to them, you know, and doing what they're wanting, you know. And now they just had the hammer brought down on them because the fan base is just in an uproar over the whole thing. And I think she's, at the end of the day, she's better off. But I really did like the Cara Dune character, and hate that she's not going to be in it anymore.
Does Disney think that the people who they're like pandering to is translating into revenue? Like, a lot of these people don't buy things, right? Like, I buy shirts and like, I have the Cara Dune toys in all scales. I bought them when they came out, not just now because now she's gone. I bought them when they came out because I like Mandalorian, and I buy the shirts, the movies, the soundtracks, the posters, the t-shirts, all the toys. And why are they not targeting me? Like, target audience is not a bad word. Like, I'm the target audience. So yeah, I like Cara Dune, leave her on there. Well, she said some things that we don't like on Twitter. Who cares? It's like, do you want my money? Do they think that now that she's gone, they're going to sell more merchandise? They're going to have more subscriptions? They're going to have more enthusiasm? They're not going to. They're doing it to get a few likes on Twitter. Oh, we like your tweet. Okay, well, give me money. Well, I'm not going to give you money. Oh, well, why am I pandering to you then? I just don't get it. It's weird.
It's corporate virtue signaling. I'm sorry, Nick. Go ahead.
I agree. And that's why I think they really need to, and me and Coach have talked about this in videos, there's a major disconnect between the Lucasfilm executives over there that are running this shit show in the actual fan base, like the ultra passionate fan base of Star Wars. There's a complete disconnect there. And that's why I said they really should have somebody that, like, if they took, say, 25 different people, YouTube personalities, Facebook, Twitch, whatever, that are ultra passionate Star Wars fans, got their feedback, talked to them, heard why the fans that buy all the merchandise, watch all the shows, you know, buy the posters, all the merch, just like J-Man was saying, you know, and kind of get that connection back with the fans and have some understanding and block out all the freaking Twitter retards out there, because they're not the one that's buying all your merchandise and stuff. They're a bunch of idiots. Like, stop listening to those people. So I don't know, but that's executives for you. That's Harvard grad execs who think that they know everything when they're clueless, and this is the kind of stuff that ends up happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Tony, do you want to weigh in, man?
So a couple things. this is a long-term investment. You know, not saying we wouldn't have an issue with what we see in entertainment if we didn't have anything to compare it off of, but they're trying to eliminate older content as much as possible. The moral in children's stories used to be treat others how you would like to be treated, the golden rule, and now it's you're perfect, you don't change for anybody, it's the world that needs to change, and anything without that story is deemed offensive content. Okay, they're making an investment to not only raise an entire generation to think this is the norm, but Tim Pool brings this up a lot. Whatever happened to Occupy Wall Street, whatever happened to the real classist issues we're having in this country, they've divided us with wokeism and with racism, and they're taking our eye off what we should be focused on, which, you know, that's what the whole game stonks issue was about a couple weeks ago. These people are just sitting at the top. Bob Iger's sitting there with his champagne laughing at all of us. They're not, you know, and even if they were to listen to fans, they're not going to listen to us. Disney sold us out for China a long time ago. They've got 1 billion people over there. What, 350 million over here? You know, Senator Tom Cotton and it'll probably go nowhere, but just introduced legislation today to keep Chinese money out of Hollywood. Now, why would he do that unless it was happening? These people don't care. They're going to listen to what the CCP wants them to do. They're going to put those messages in. And, you know, it's just sad. The only answer I have, and I'm not for boycotts, but I mean, I want to quit giving them my money. And if, you know, it's funny, I did cancel my Disney Plus, but like 12 hours before they fired Gina Carano, or it was announced, my Disney Plus membership renewed. So I do have it for the next month, but
yeah, I never had it in the first place. I quit giving them my money after The Last Jedi.
Yeah, I don't. That's the smarter thing. Like I was telling Pete, I haven't played Battlefront 2 since The Last Jedi. I haven't.
Yeah.
Look, I don't pay for it, so it's.
I still watch everything. There's other ways you can watch the content without having to give them your money.
Yeah, my mom pays for it, so I think
I'm going to do that. But it's like we've got to, because, and it's not just Disney. I've talked to Pete about, I kind of want to make a documentary called The Brands That Have Betrayed Us, and all of these American brands that we have built up and became part of our household, and they've all sold us out for this evil entity, and it sucks. It really sucks. And Disney's just, you know, one of the leaders of the pack.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and to kind of bring it back to them being bullies, I mean, and you guys, I heard you mention Christina Ariel, the host of the High Republic show, openly racist. You know, Pedro Pascal with his tweets, which were, in my opinion, a little bit worse off than Gina's.
Way worse.
Way worse. Yeah.
You know, I'm being very nice right now. You know,
evil people. These aren't people that are mistaken or not listening to the fans. They know exactly what they're doing.
Well, look at Justina Ireland still. You have Pablo Hidalgo. You've got what's the other one? Daniel Jose Older. You know, these are all employees of Disney. Yeah. What's the other one that said you know, anybody who supported the last president kids should be put through a wood chipper.
Yeah.
That asshole.
Oh dear, yeah.
Yeah, you got. I mean, then even going back, you have Chuck Wendig. You know, the list goes, and that's not counting the people at Marvel, which Disney owns as well. You know, that have openly been antagonistic with fans simply because we voiced our displeasure for a way that a product or IP has been treated. So this is a pattern of abuse and just overstep by a group of people who they're more interested in Twitter clout than they are the product that they're supposed to be selling us. And that's the disconnect to me. That's going to like I said, and I always go back to the food analogy because I like to eat, but that's, you know, going to a restaurant and it's like, me, last weekend I ordered, it's like, hey, I want a Moscow Mule. Well, they bring me a fucking, a club soda with a fucking lime, and that's it. I'm like, well, I didn't want that. Well, that fucking mule is no good for you. It's like, well, fuck you. That's not what I ordered. Like, well, you're just a racist. It's like, wait, what? That's how quickly these things jump off. I'm being facetious, but that's, to me, that's a realistic depiction of how quickly these things jump off. And then, you have these people, these professionals attacking you on Twitter. They're supposed to, connect with fans. Well, yeah, they'll connect with them and just, call us pieces of shit. I mean, so it's ridiculous. And, yeah, the guys at the top, you got Chapek is supposedly running it. Iger still runs it. Chapek is just, he's the parks guy. He was a money guy. Iger is the one, he's the big don of the whole thing. And he wants money. Iger took a pay cut from $49 million in 2019 to $21 million last year. Chapek's salary dropped from, I think it was like mid 30s down to like, no, I'm sorry. It went from 21 million to 14 million. So, I mean, my heart goes out to these guys, my soul bleeds for them. They're, they're living in almost impoverished conditions, but it's like they should want money. It's like, how can you continue to let your employees treat the paying customers like this in search of a non-existent audience? That people on Tumblr don't spend money. Right. Tumblerinas are not spending fucking money. They're not.
They're getting their money from overseas, man.
That's it.
They forgot that they're selling art. Like, film is still an art. It's not a requirement. It's not like my couch is broken and I need to go buy a new couch and I'm at the mercy of wherever I go to buy a couch. Like, I don't need another Star Wars show. So the money that we give is a reward to you for doing good quality work that we enjoy. I don't need a sequel. It's like, I've got the original trilogy, so who cares? I never need any product from Disney. So you have to make me want the product.
Mm-hmm. The only good thing they got going for them right now with all this happening now is there's no more Star Wars coming out till December.
Yep.
So, but they have a long time to try to repair this, fix it, whatever they're planning on doing, or maybe they'll just sit back and be like, oh, we're not going to do shit. We'll just hope it'll blow over. But the other bad side to that is over time, people will tend to, it'll be in the back of your mind. It's not as hyped, people kind of forget about it. And then the hype of the shows comes back out and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll check it out,
They needed to WandaVision to do it, I think.
Yeah. WandaVision was a good distraction.
Yeah. And the thing is, I mean, most of the general audience out there that has Disney Plus, they don't know anything about this stuff and they probably don't even care about it. So I would like to see the numbers, which I know they'll never show. But I'm curious how many Disney Plus subscriptions they've lost since all this. I'm sure it's a significant amount, but and I'm sure it's in the long run, it's definitely gonna hurt them. But yeah. I mean, they got like 95 million subscriptions or something. So just say 5 million people bowed out, over this Gina thing. I mean, you still got 90 million people with more people signing up. Is WandaVision's finishing up? The
Falcon and the
Winter Soldier is about to drop.
Yep.
So. At the end of the day, it's probably more of a pinprick for them. It definitely made them bleed, but they're not freaking like, it's not like a gunshot wound where they're like needing to go to the emergency room and get surgery and all that. So I don't know, but the thing is, the Amazing Lucas brought up a good point when we were discussing all that. The other side, that we're calling for her to get fired, they're way more vocal, on stuff like that than say our side is, because we're not calling for people to be fired and all that sort of stuff. So I think if more people were louder in hashtagging and doing all that stuff, and you had millions of people doing that, and we were louder than the other side when they were making stupid decisions, or when we didn't want them to make a stupid decision that's been rumored to be made, or whatever. I think that'd go a long way also.
Yeah, we're complaining. We're not coming from a place of hate. We're coming from a place of care. And when we see this bigotry, this actual bigotry go on, we were raised to say something, and that's not okay. And yeah, it's just it's. I never thought I'd live in a country that classified people. Like, the past 5 years have been a ride, man. Oh, it's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah. The people like our ancestors that like freaking plowed the fields, worked with their hands, building stuff and building this country up. I mean, they would probably look at society today and be like, "What a bunch of pussies."
Yep.
Oh
yeah.
And it's just like, what is wrong? There's like all these beta males out there, all these people whining and complaining about stuff. Like me and Coach whine and complain, but we try to do as little as possible. But at the end of the day, we understand that these are just movies and stuff, and it's stuff that we love and that we've grown up with, and it's a big part of our lives. But we also can separate that from real life in the real world and all that sort of stuff. And these other idiots out there on Twitter are just like, this is life, we gotta cancel these people, they're destroying entertainment and society. It's just like, what are you guys doing? Like, where do you even come from?
Out from under rocks.
Yeah. People that scream outside of 7-Eleven, and you try not to make eye contact and you walk past them. Twitter has enabled them to band together into a group of them all screaming at the same time. So now you can't ignore it. I mean, that's... Jeez.
I think it's easier for people to just go on Twitter and say stuff and feel that they've somehow done a benefit to mankind rather than actually going to, go to a soup kitchen or something and help out there. Like, you'll get a lot more, self-worth out of that than saying, oh, let's fire Gina Carano. Like, let's say that you really wanted her fired. Now that she's fired, how does that help you in your life in any way? Like, even if you hated her, like, let's say you really hated Pedro Pascal. We're like, we hate him. Okay, now that he's fired, is your life better? Like, do you still have to go to your job? Like, you still have to go to your job and do your laundry and buy your groceries? Like, how does it move? It doesn't do anything.
It's being a slacktivist.
You're right.
That's what it is. It's slacktivism. That is the current wave of activism. It's, oh, are you out marching in the streets and signing petitions and organizing the masses? No, I'm on Twitter. I'm tweeting about it. It's like,
because there are no real problems.
That's it. That's it, Tony. Thank you, man. That's pretty much nail on the fucking head right there. God dang.
Beat the game.
Yeah, I mean, holy shit. So let's see. I'll try to get through a little bit of this here. Former Mandalorian actress Gina Carano staying silent after Disney and Lucasfilm fired the actress via a press statement and attempted to insinuate she was a racist, which is ridiculous. A Lucasfilm spokesman announced in a statement that Carano was fired back on February 10th. The statement read, Gina Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilm and there are no plans for her to be in the future. It added, nevertheless, her social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable. And she never did that once. She never did that once. This is the thing. If Gina Carano was anti-Semitic, an Orthodox Jew wouldn't have hired her.
Yeah, exactly.
Ben Shapiro is like, he's all the way Jew, and and he hired her, and he's not once been like, or you should, retract, no, that's because nothing she did was anti-Semitic. So
and Robert Meyer Burnett, he was raised Jewish also, and and he said the same thing. He was like, what she's saying is factually true.
It is,
so
I mean.
What are you gonna do?
you know, she's going to go make money elsewhere, which is good for her. That's because she's a good person. She deserves that.
And she's number one on IMDb now.
She's the number one trending celebrity in the entire world. Yep.
It is great to see the reaction to an actual strong woman, someone who won't be held down and manipulated, someone who would have punched Weinstein in his mouth.
Oh my God. Can you imagine that? He would have put a hand on her shoulder. She would have snapped his fucking arm at the elbow and then dislocated his shoulder. I mean, seriously, dude, like that's like you said, Tony, it's like they champion strong women until one comes along and it's like, oh shit, what do we do now? She's, you know, it's like they're like, it's sentient. It's like, because she's a free thinking individual, you know, not part of your hive mind collective, which is another fucking issue in Hollywood. But this is one of the posts in question, and one people on social media the day they were trying to fire her for was from her Instagram stories. It was a screenshot of a post from Warrior Priest Gym podcast that was warning about how hating your neighbors can lead to extreme violence. And you tell me where the lie is there, and then I'll say you're full of it, because there is no lie. It read, Jews were beaten in the streets, not by Yahtzee soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children. The post then features a quote and states, because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where the Yahtzee soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views? And she's absolutely correct in that.
Yeah, she was basically making a comparison to how you got to that point of the Holocaust. She wasn't making a Holocaust reference.
No, not even a little bit.
This is all pre-Holocaust, you know, that she's talking about. She's talking about the events that led up to that, you know, and not letting history repeat itself, you know. And I mean, I understood that. But a lot of the idiots out there, you know, with their downloaded NPC code that they, you know, are following, they don't get that. They don't understand that. They just automatically see, you know, something to do with World War II, Nazi Germany, and Jews, and it's like, oh, anti-Semitic, you know.
They think that the Holocaust just happened overnight. They do. This is a short attention span generation, though. They think that all of a sudden overnight Germany just went out and they rounded up all these Jews and they took them away, and you know, they were, you know, but they think it did. It happened. Yeah, it happened over time. There was a slow build to it. First, you have to start poisoning minds, and that's exactly what this culture is doing through entertainment. You know, it's just like Goebbels. It's propaganda. You know,
and she made this post just like a day or two after people in Congress were talking about, you know, reprogramming the Trump supporter. You know, how to, like, you know, how can we track these people and find out who they are, and how are we going to reprogram them, you know, to, you know, how things are now in the direction that we're moving, you know. And I think there was a correlation there between all that going on and what a lot of politicians were talking about in the post that she made.
Like you said, that was a slow burn situation. These people think it just happened overnight, and that's why they jumped to the conclusions they did about what she was trying to say. When she was, like you said, she was spot on with her analogy. It was spot on. You know, there was no lie there.
What makes it more pathetic, though, is, like, at least, sorry to cut you off, man, but like with Goebbels, they didn't have a computer in their pocket where they could do their own research and find information and see what's going on. They kind of didn't have a choice. How many TV channels? 2, 3? These people are, they're willfully. It's like they said in Captain America: The First Avenger. I mean, you can't or was it the Winter Soldier? You can't take people's freedom from them, but if they'll give it up willingly, if they'll give it up voluntarily.
Winter Soldier, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think so.
I think what's sad is that all this is leaked into our entertainment, which, like Star Wars, and I've always said this, Star Wars is one of the things that unites people, and now you're using it as a weapon to, push people away and divide people, and it's so sad because, like, I have friends. I have a friend in Israel actually, and I've got like Japanese friends, Filipino friends. I've got gay friends. I've got a Muslim friend who I went to his Muslim wedding. Right. I actually have a very diverse friendship circle, and we all came together through Star Wars. And the thing is that's what brought us together. It's like, yeah, we maybe didn't have the same beliefs. I'm an atheist. I have a Muslim friend. I have a Christian friend who goes to Bible class on Sundays or whatever. And we united through Star Wars. And that was what we focused on. And for all of this to start, seeping into our entertainment, it's just such a tragedy because Star Wars, united everybody. And it's just really sad the way this is all like panned out. I just don't know like what Disney can do to try to they have to just sort of just say we're done with all of this and never go on Twitter. I don't know. I don't know what they can do.
Yeah. Oh God. It was it's sad. It is because I grew up watching Disney as a kid, and and to see the you used to watch like reruns of like I Love Lucy and stuff like that as a kid, and it's like now it's like that stuff is like considered all this stuff has to have like warnings on it. It's like
right.
Disney Channel is nothing but propaganda now. Like I see like my son quit watching it, because we used to watch Disney Junior, and some of the commercials on there, the social engineering, I'm watching and I'm like, nope, we're done with this, bud. I was like, we're done. Your shows are on Netflix or whatever. Like I said, I don't pay for Netflix. I don't pay for Hulu, and I don't pay for Disney Plus. So I watch everything on there for free. But yeah, it's I can't believe that this is where we're at as a society. This is okay. It's like, and I laugh because you're talking about, people are talking, oh, well, the whole, treat women, so obviously you treat women with respect. It's like, you don't need to be a male feminist to do that. It's like all these pronounced male feminists, look at Joss Whedon, how that turned out. These are the most weird people, and it's like the people like us, like the paying customers, the average Joes basically are the ones that are we're basically like the most normal out of any. You at one side you've got these Hollywood weirdos, then you've got the weirdos on Twitter that aren't really fans but they act like they are, then you've got us, the paying customers, the people here that are like, hey, we've been here for a while, how you doing, nice to meet you, do you still want my money? And then they're like, no, hey, here, take that.
Yeah,
that's been, it's like everybody got behind Gina Carano because she truly represented the fan base. It's like she was one of us. Like even as a guy, it's like you can just get behind her because she's such a fucking badass. Like like Jay said, I've watched her fight MMA since the beginning, and she just has always been a very like she's just like you can tell she's a good person. She's one of those. It's like there was never anything fake or about her, and that's really what I loved about seeing her in Star Wars. It's like it really helps the suspension of disbelief when you could see someone who could like legit like knock somebody's ass out cold and do all this badass shit. It's like that's her right there. We finally got it, and it's like, yep, they can't handle a real strong woman. So
I got a question for you, ETEP.
Yeah,
who do you think would win in a fight between Gina Carano and Ronda Rousey, both of them in their prime?
Carano.
I think so too.
Because Gina was a good striker. She was a good striker. I mean, she could grapple too, but she could strike. And Rousey didn't do well against strikers because look at how my girl Holly Holm knocked that ass out.
Yeah.
Turned her one kick turned her into Sloth from the Goonies. I mean,
I watched that fight too.
Yeah.
I had a bunch of people over at the house.
The preacher's daughter, man, fucking Holly Holm.
But Ronda Rousey kind of got me into UFC, so I like her. I mean, like
I don't hate her.
Yeah, she was like the first big one where you're like, oh, you got, she was like a household name.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So good for her.
Absolutely, man. No, and she's, she's had a nice little movie. She's another one. It's like, she's not like, she needs to stay kind of like in a certain type of role, like that female enforcer kind of badass role, because she can play that because she is one. Like she did in what was it, one of the Fast and Furious movies. I just remember seeing the fight scene, because I know Gina was in one of them. But yeah, I don't I don't mind either, but I think Gina would win
Gina
that
would for sure.
she would win that fight.
Yeah, I agree.
Pretty handily. Like I said, like Tim Myers said, Gina for sure. Rhonda, no striking, she blocks with her face. Yep.
Yeah.
Those shin kicks to the side of the chops don't really feel too good either.
Yeah.
I kind of look at them as worlds apart, Rousey and Carano.
Oh yeah.
Because like I'm sorry, but Rousey fights with no honor, and Gina, if you can't tell, she has a lot of heart. She's a very caring person. Like, I know but I have a problem with someone who won't bump fists just out of F you. There's no heat there. I have a problem with that. No.
Yeah, that was not cool.
Yeah. And just hearing him speak, Rousey's talking, I was ready to end it after compared to Gina, who's like, yeah, I'm upset, but I'm like, I'm not going to let these people defeat me. They're just, I look at Gina. Gina's my hero after all this. She really is. I mean, much less just being one of us. She's setting the example for how so many others should be standing up to this right now. And, young Ripa said, if we had 50 Ginas, none of this would be a problem.
Yeah.
And there are so many people in Hollywood who don't agree with this, but they're whispering in their homes and scared to speak up. And
they don't want to get fired. If you can't, if you don't do this and you're fired, never mind actually saying something.
Yeah.
Stop being cowards, like throughout history, people have always had something to lose. And it feels like the ones with the most to lose are the ones least willing to fight. Like I don't care who you are. If you have so many millions of dollars, you have enough to live on for the rest of your life. Speak up, do something.
Yeah.
Say something, because you want notoriety. That's why you're an actor in the first place. Gina Carano is going to be in history books.
She will be.
She's gonna, much less being number one on IMDb, this is gonna be talked about one day, hopefully. Be a notable figure. Stand up and, have some integrity, some fortitude, and stand by your girl. Don't be a Don Cheadle.
Oh, yeah, really.
That's and that's a perfect correlation too. We were talking about Black Panther earlier. It wasn't, and like I said, and I'll say this, and I was glad I covered it in a video. When Black Panther 2 finally comes out, and everybody's saying that toxic white male fans and trolls and Russian bots chased Letitia Wright off of Twitter, let's remember who it was that chased that poor young lady off of Twitter and bullied her and harassed her because she dared step outside of the box and question the status quo regarding was it vaccines and some things like that. But yeah, it doesn't. I mean, the source is just that it happened, and she, like I said, she didn't just go along with the herd. She questioned it, and they just bullied her right off. She just nuked all her social media, and good for her for doing that. But it's sad that it comes to that. But we're gonna get blamed for that. I guarantee you.
Right.
There's gonna be articles. And it's, Letitia Wright's not on social media because these assholes chased her off. And it's like, no, it was the weirdos on Twitter. It was the weirdos on Twitter who probably never seen any of her work or know who she is really. All they know is she said something that they didn't like, and they started pissing themselves and going, and yep, next thing you know, that she's just in tears, and she deletes her social media. And that's a sad state of affairs. And that's why I really think, honestly, one of my favorite videos I've seen about the Gina Carano situation was the Critical Drinkers. And It was the girl who wouldn't back down or something like that. He's such a wordsmith, and I just love the way he phrased it. And his video, it really hit, man. And she was, like I said, she went down swinging, which was really awesome to see. That, you know, she never backed down from the woke mob, and you know, and she became a martyr. But it's like, if you strike me down, I'll return twice as powerful, and she did. So, you know, good for her. And man, yeah, that's just it's sad to see her, because yeah, her role in The Mandalorian was great. Cara Dune was a great character. You know, that's what really sucks, is now it's like any enthusiasm level I had for that show is literally just like gone. It's gone. And like Nick said earlier, you know, they gave us 7 minutes of Luke Skywalker, and they almost, like, you know, it was an olive branch. It was something.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's like all that is just, you took the rug and just pulled it right out. You know, it's like going back to your ex. You know, it's like everything's going to be better this time. And, you know, then you come in and, you know, there's, never mind. Anyway, but yeah.
And from what I hear, Jon Favreau was pretty pissed off and not happy with this whole thing.
I'm sure.
Now, of course, nothing official's coming out like that, because he officially can't really say anything. You know, which that's Hollywood for you. You know, they all had to be quiet, stay in their little box. You know, not put ripples in the water. You know, he should be able to come out and say, this is bullshit. I 100% don't agree with this, and not have to worry about losing his job.
Yeah. But he just get they in a heartbeat.
Get it out of there real quick.
Oh yeah. Yeah. If that's my kid. That's what the kids are saying. Yeet it. And I just said, that's what the kids are saying. Oh my God.
I hear that the Amazing Lucas say it all the time on his channel.
I had to figure out my son. He'll do something. He'll be like, yeet. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck is that? You know, he's like 5, you know, but he says, I'm like, what? I'm like, okay. So he watches Minecraft all the time. So at school, I go to school, and all the kids watch that dude with the big hair, Preston, that plays Minecraft. I was like, oh my God. And I started doing like a Preston impression. They're laughing. I'm like, yeah, I know. I sound exactly like my, that's all I hear in the other rooms. My kid watching him. I'm like, stop supporting me. So I got like 8 million subscribers. Knock it off. Knock it off. He doesn't need your watch time.
Yeah.
You can't watch my videos yet, Junior, though. That's some of the kids at the school, like, Mr. Pete, what's your YouTube channel name? I'm like, no. Your parents can watch it. You can't, though. They're like, we play Grand Theft Auto. I'm like, I ain't your dad. I don't care. I don't want, no. Yeah. No, I don't think so. I don't need this. This is not admissible in court. No. You ain't watching. You ain't watching. All right, we're going to jump into the next topic, though. We're going to I'm going to step out here while I cue this article up, and let's see. I'll leave you with some Monty Python. And we are back, ladies and gents. We are over here on Esquire.com, and thank you, Tony put that one together. That would never, I love Monty Python. That's I need to watch that again.
Gotta love the messaging.
Oh God, yeah. More appropriate that could not have been. But we're gonna talk some WandaVision now. A little more lighthearted topic now. We talk a little WandaVision. And what did we think of that last episode there, folks?
I mean, I've loved WandaVision. I got my Vision and Scarlet Witch stuff in the back here, and I'm wearing my WandaVision shirt.
Nice.
I liked it. I hope that there's more than just Agatha Harkness, because I don't think that she's strong enough as a villain to be the main villain of this. But if she is not, then they need to introduce this villain like ASAP, because if it's going to be Mephisto, or if it's going to be Nightmare, or whatever they want to do, they need to get to it, because there's not much left, and Agatha seems slightly boring, for the Marvel fans like me, and probably for casual viewers who are just like, yeah, we thought that she was weird, so if she's just the villain, that's not enough.
Yeah.
You know, her controlling everything. My impression was that Agatha was usually like a good person, though.
I
In the
thought she was
comics.
too.
Yeah, because she helped raise Franklin. She helped with Wanda developing her powers and stuff. And this is classic, like West Coast Avengers, old school Avengers. So I hope they do more. This article talking about the post credits with, and I've noticed too that I don't know if you guys have noticed, but as the episodes have gone, like so when they go to the real world, it changes format. Like it'll go from like, it'll go to widescreen to like full frame and stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
So, and then this here, they're saying that, well, the reason there's a post-credit thing is because that started in the same sort of time period as the current WandaVision, episode or whatever. So I think it's really neat. They've done a lot of really cool little things with bringing in television sitcoms, but also some comic book stuff, also a little bit of a mystery to it. I think there's some really cool things going on, and I'm not willing to just say, oh, I'm done because Agatha's, slightly boring. I like the actress who plays Agatha Harkness.
Catherine Hahn is fucking awesome.
She's awesome, right?
She's great.
She's great. So I'm really liking it. And we got to remember that the way TV works now is that this is really a what is it going to be, a 10-hour movie, or I don't know how many, when you put it all together, it's like a 7-hour movie or something. That's how TV is now. It's not like it used to be like you watch Star Trek and then you'd go home for the day and then the next Star Trek had nothing to do with the last one, right?
Yeah.
So we're looking at one big whole chunk of a movie that they're giving us pieces of until it's done. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm liking it. So
yeah, I'm probably more on the camp of casual Marvel fan. I grew up with the comic books. I read a lot of them, but I mainly read X-Men, Spider-Man, Batman, like the main ones. And then I loved the Dark Horse, Aliens, and Predator comics. Batman vs. Predator was one of my all-time favorites. And for me, I like WandaVision, but for me personally, it's like it's moving slow. Like I'm like, what's going on here? And this villain that they just revealed in this last episode, I honestly didn't know who that was. I was like, who is this? I had to go out and do some research, because I didn't know anything about Agatha, from reading comics. That character wasn't in any of the ones that I read. So I don't know. For me, I hope they kind of speed it up. There's only like what, 2 episodes left.
Yeah,
and but I'm enjoying it. I like it. I haven't disliked any of it so far, but at the end of several episodes this season, I'm like, huh? Like what? Like it's like I'm lost. Like, but I'm sure for people like J-Man, who's way more into that world, like it probably all makes a lot more sense to him than it does to somebody like me.
Yeah, it does and it doesn't. It's like knowing the comics gives you a little bit of an edge. I can kind of, figure out what's going on, and I can get to a conclusion quicker than maybe a casual viewer.
Yeah.
So that helps. But they're also not doing the comics. Marvel, I will say, has done, for the most part, a pretty good job of capturing the essence of a character and then bringing that character to screen, because comics have been around for decades now. You can't pinpoint and say, let's just do this storyline, right? Because things change. Like maybe Agatha Harkness later became a villain and then turned back. I don't know. Like Scarlet Witch was a villain. Scarlet Witch is like a plot device character where there's too many mutants, so let's have Scarlet Witch get rid of some of them. And then, you know what I mean? Comics have to continuously change. I've read a Superman comic every week for like my whole life. So it's like, it's going to be hard to maintain that same character. So I think they're doing a good job. It's a slow burn for sure, but they're giving it to you in smaller chunks, which I think is good because you can digest it slower and be like, okay, that was weird. Okay, something happened there. I don't get it. And then you watch the next one. Like, oh, okay, I kind of see where this is going. And I think it's an interesting way to do it compared to like big popcorn action flicks like Infinity War and Endgame. I like that Marvel's taken some chances. They're giving you a little bit something different and see how it goes, right? Like Falcon and Winter Soldier ain't going to be anything like this show, right?
No.
So
there's never been a show like this show.
That is true.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Nick.
Oh, I was just gonna say one thing that's confusing to me is I still haven't figured out, is Vision alive, or is this a figment of her imagination? Like when he stepped out of her little reality that she's like created, or that Agatha's created, whoever's creating it. I'm guessing it's Wanda, and maybe she's manipulating her or something. But when he stepped out of it and he was kind of like, parts of him were like flying back in, he still had the Mind Stone, in his forehead. And so I'm like, I that's what's confusing to me. I don't know what's going on with him, and
I don't think he has the Mind Stone. I think it's just a facsimile of the Mind Stone, but perhaps there's little particles of the Mind Stone maybe absorbed within him, because when he was getting pulled back, there was some yellow glows around. So that could still be something, or it could just be energy. My interpretation was that because he's only alive within the Hex construct, he can't leave it. It's like he literally can't leave it. If he somehow got through, he would just be dead.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
I thought that's what was kind of happening to him when he tried to, get out during that last episode where he broke out. That's, basically why he was being pulled back in, was because he cannot exist outside of the Nexus, as it were. But yeah, I don't like, that's the thing. I was like, well, so if he still has the Mind Stone, then he could kind of, and he obviously has his power set in there. So it's, it's like, why hasn't he tried to use it yet? I guess is my thing. I heard a theory about this today, that I can't remember whose video it was. They were maybe it was the Marvelous Wave. I was talking about Hayward being Ultron in disguise. I'm like, that is some like far out, like trippy shit. I don't know that they would go that far with it. It's kind of crazy to think about. But Ultron out of Ultron could easily have been, stored somewhere or backed himself up somehow. I mean, they can bring people back from the dead. You can resurrect AI easily,
Oh yeah. Well, James Spader, is he have a credit in an upcoming, or it could just be a flashback, but I'm pretty sure his voice at least is going to be featured in the next two at some point.
I remember hearing that like a year or two ago.
I would love James Spader.
He's awesome
Ultron again. Yes. Yes.
He's awesome.
And I was just gonna say real quick, I'm pretty sure he still somewhat has the power of the Mind Stone, at least within the Hex, because he was able to touch people's minds and kind of release them from whatever spell they were under. So it's like that's where it's like confusing to me, because it's like he's still using his powers, but do they only work within the Hex? Or does he actually have parts of the Mind Stone still, or at least some of its power? Like, I'm sure, hopefully, like if they end the season without answering some of these questions, I'm literally going to be like completely lost and be like, what? So I'm definitely, I stay up every Thursday night until 2 a.m. at my time and watch the episodes because I'm enjoying it, but I'm also confused at the same time on what's exactly going on.
I think that's the perfect balance. Keep you guessing enough to want to watch the next one, but not enough to make you quit, right? Like it's like some show. I never watched Lost, but I know that some people started to give up after a while. They thought, I don't know what's going on.
That's my favorite. That's like next to Seinfeld. That is like my favorite show. That's nice. My channel. My channel design is Lost.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never seen Lost. I never watched Lost.
Coach has, but I haven't.
I've watched it through about 3 or 4 times.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so see, that's one where there's a lot of mystery, but it keeps you wanting to see the next one, right?
Yeah.
Like, and you
Yeah.
haven't given up on it or whatever. So
Yep.
I think WandaVision is doing that. Like, I haven't heard
Mhm.
anyone saying I'm confused, so I'm done. More like I'm confused, so let me see what happens in the next one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I liked okay, so I liked the Agatha Harkness reveal, but like you said, I don't want her to be the main big bad. With this leading into the multiverse of madness, you're gonna need, like, I think that's why this is, like as somebody said in the chat, this is the nexus of the universe, and maybe it was Daisy Divine, and this is where all the points of the multiverse connect, is the reality that she's created. So is that how this is going to kind of come into play? And I heard some rumblings about them saying they weren't going to make the big bad Mephisto because you can't market the devil in like China. So they would have to use Nightmare, which I don't know if they're substantiated rumors or not, but I mean, I know they have a big thing about ghosts and stuff like that. And well, let's be honest, and they're kind of racist, but I feel bad for Boyega in that respect, because he got screwed there,
Yeah.
but no, I think, I mean, they could be onto something there with that this being the point for all the multiverses. So, I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think it could be potentially still Mephisto, or are you leaning more towards Nightmare now? I don't think Agatha is going to be the big bad. I really don't.
Plus, everything Agatha does has a purple tint to it.
Yes.
And Scarlet Witch or Wanda, whatever. I might call her Scarlet Witch because that's what I always called her.
I do
Scarlet
the same
Witch,
thing too.
Yeah. Scarlet Witch, everything she does is red, right? So it's like that hex is definitely her.
Yes.
I'm thinking Agatha is there to try to help control Wanda to an extent, but also maybe Agatha is being controlled by the bad guy Nightmare or whoever that's going to be. It can't be Agatha because Doctor Strange could wipe the floor with Agatha in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Right? Like, unless they're going to make Scarlet Witch the villain and then she becomes a villain to fight Doctor Strange or something. Someone, I did a stream last Friday after for the episode, and somebody in my chat said, what if Wanda says no more magic at the end to try to eliminate all magic because she's just done, and then the multiverse is Doctor Strange trying to somehow get magic back, and then maybe the multiverse is collapsed because of the magic being removed or something. And I just thought, whoa, that's an interesting idea. So I don't know. And I like that I don't know. Like, I like that it's not just like, oh, this has happened in issue 29 and I know what's going to happen. I like this, so I think they're doing a good job.
That's and that's the one thing I've liked about the show is it's kind of kept you guessing, and then it is just chocked full of Easter eggs. Like every episode. I mean, there's like, and I can't catch them all. I mean, I have to watch like 18 videos to like catch every. It's like I'm watching like everybody else's videos. I'm like, did I see that one? Like, oh, this guy caught this one, but they caught this one. That's the way it is, though. I mean, and that's the hallmark of a good show. And I think there might be some letdown, honestly. And I say that not because Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to be a bad show, but it's going to be so different from this. And I mean, it almost could seem formulaic because this is unlike anything we've ever seen as far as Marvel goes. So, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier looks like it's going to be, basically kind of in the same vein of almost like a Winter Soldier kind of vibe to it. Except you're going to get, what is it? US Agent and all that. And you got Zemo back, which I believe this is supposed to lead into the Thunderbolts, isn't it? Or something like that. So one of these is anyway. But I mean, I think there could be, the audience is going to be like, wait a second, but I don't think it's going to do bad. I really don't, because people are just hungry for content. It's like Black Widow, and you saw Black Widow's just lost in the shuffle now.
They should have released Black Widow. This was a big time fail because the Marvel movies are so dependent on you seeing the previous thing.
Yes.
Black Widow was supposed to have already been out. So like when are they gonna bring that out? Because it's gonna be all out of order now. It's just gonna be this weird kind of order. And
they should have released it before Endgame.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
really. The Captain Marvel film and anything that they try to shoehorn in, it really messes up. Like Marvel had everything going perfectly, and then they shoehorned a movie that was like, well, why is this here? And that was weird. And Black Widow would have probably been better than to set her up, and then when she dies, that would have been a pretty big.
It would have gave it way more meaning.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to rely heavily on the relationship between the two of them. It's going to have to be like a buddy cop kind of situation where they really play off each other, because that's different than what WandaVision is. And if the two actors can do it, which I think they can, they're both cool. Maybe we could get something cool from Falcon and Winter Soldier that's not the same but still good. Yeah, I guess we'll see in a few weeks.
Riggs and Murtaugh in
Riggs and Murtaugh, yeah.
Yep.
1 year from retirement.
Yeah.
Over this shit, Riggs.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see here. So, I mean, I guess. So let's talk. We can just talk about the post-credit scene here.
Mm-hmm.
Monica finding that cellar, and she looks down there, and you get all the purple magic from Agatha, and then you got a imposter Pietro there. Yeah. And that was very telling last episode when she's like that wasn't your uncle. Like, well, who was it? They never really go into it, so we don't really know who he is. He's just is this some? Well, it's not. Agatha's controlling him at one point, or is she controlling him? Is he just allowing himself to be controlled? Is this nightmare? Masquerading as Pietro? But I mean, I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. But there's a huge, there's, like you said, multiverse Quicksilver. Yeah. And did she, can Agatha harness the multiverse? Is that,
I was thinking when Quicksilver first appeared, I thought that because Wanda can't resurrect the dead per se, she wanted her brother back, and she manifested the closest parallel dimension version of that brother. But when I saw him and he was all shot up, well, that's from Avengers.
Yeah.
So it's just he has a different face. Like, I don't know. That's still a little bit weird. I don't know if this is a Kick-Ass. What's his name? Aaron Taylor Johnson. Is that his name?
Aaron Taylor Johnson. Yep.
Yeah. Was that just the fact of, well, he couldn't make it, so they just like, let's get Evan Peters, or people like the Evan Peters version of Quicksilver more, and they thought, let's just get him in there? Or is it a conscious effort to say, well, here's the first multiverse crossover thing that we're getting?
Yeah.
That's yet to be explained. And yeah, he's being controlled by somebody. It's Agatha or whoever. Yeah, I mean, again, that's just, more questions.
Yep. And I didn't pick up on this until it was mentioned in the show where Quicksilver from X-Men said to her, "What happened to your accent?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh God, I didn't even realize that." Yeah, like her, she doesn't have that accent anymore.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they're playing off the sitcoms, right? So it's like her perfect world is the perfect world of sitcoms where nothing bad ever happens and you just live your life happily. And it's like, but she couldn't have an accent on it because it's like it's an American television kind of thing. So she wouldn't have the Russian accent. Sense. But when she leaves, she has it, right? Like when she goes out of the hex, then she's got her normal voice back or whatever.
Yeah.
But I wonder
was she talking with that accent when she came out and had all the guns turned on that other guy?
Yeah.
See, I didn't even pick up on that.
Yeah. She had her accents again when she was out.
She did when she was in the house talking to Monica too, because she says, I was a twin, and she said I had a brother, and she says Pietro, and she says it with an accent. And she's done it a couple times. I've noticed that she's kind of slipped into it, and it's very subtle. So when she came outside, that was such a boss move. She just like walks out, throws that fucking drone back. I'm like, she's just dragging it. I love that character so much, dude. Elizabeth Olsen
she rocks.
She's awesome. Yeah, man.
She's awesome. I love Monica Rambeau, man. That was Captain Marvel when I was when I know all the Captain Marvels, but I mean, when
Yep.
I was first getting into comics, that was Captain Marvel to me, because Marvel had already been dead or whatever. And I liked Monica Rambeau, and this actress is friggin' awesome. She's damn
Teyana
awesome.
Paris. Yeah.
She looks like she's got the hair and the
Yes.
face, and then she had that white black. I was like, I knew when she took off the suit, I was like, oh man, she's
Yeah.
gonna have like a fucking white and black costume underneath, and it'll be kind of like photon Captain Marvel looking.
Yep.
And she's got her powers, so basically she
Yes.
has her powers. So I mean,
I said that in my review. I was like, she stuck that sexy ass superhero landing when because Wanda went to throw her down and she was like, and she just kind of stuck it. I'm like, because you can see Wanda was like kind of surprised. She stepped back like, oh shit, you know. But I mean, you know, it was nice, yeah. And you got that little sequence of her running through the barrier, the hex, and yeah, she come out and her eyes are blue. That was
cool.
dope. That looked really good. Yeah, and I'd never seen her in anything outside of that. Was it that movie, Dear White People? She was in.
I never seen that.
It came out in like 2014. It was like a Netflix movie or some shit.
Oh yes, I remember seeing things for it, but I never watched the movie.
I saw like half of it and was like, meh, whatever. Never finished watching it. It was kind of like Suicide Squad, which it took me 4 years to finish. Anyway, it did. I'm not even joking. I just finished it a couple months ago. I told Tony, I'm like, I sat through it and I'm like, and I don't know why. I should have never finished it. But no, I really like the direction they're going with Captain Marvel I call her Captain Marvel because she is basically, you know. That Monica Rambeau is the most popular iteration of fucking Captain Marvel ever. It's like, hey, so are you telling me that we're going to kill off Brie Larson's Captain Marvel and replace her with this one? Take my money. I'm sold. Where's Rogue?
Yeah. That's what I'm waiting to happen is for Rogue to come in and take Captain Marvel's powers, and then Brie Larson is like pretty much no more, you know.
just nerf the fuck out of her. She's gone. She's out.
Yeah.
But no, that this show it's really brought something new to the Marvel universe, which it's a very cool aesthetic. And like I said, if you get see you later, YTL. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it always. I really want more of this now. And it's like, I hope Doctor Strange, you know, is kind of in the same, you know, in this kind of same vein. It really, well, who's directing that now? Is it, it's Raimi. Raimi's doing it.
Yeah.
So I have faith in that. I don't know why the hell I'm having issues with the StreamYard, my fucking green screen. It'll like cut off after, I don't know, whatever. I'm gonna have to call customer service. I'll pay for this shit. Son of a bitches. But no, I like it. I was really excited at first. It was Scott Derrickson was doing it, and I'm like, you know, when he stepped down, stepped away, or they fired him, whatever. You know, Raimi, I'm like, okay, I really, you know, Sam Raimi knows a thing or two about, you know, about horror, so it's like, you know, he knows a thing or two, so it could be cool. But you know, and then you know they were talking about it. Feige's like, no, it's still going to be like funny. I'm like, why? They need to just do a horror movie. Just do it. Like New Mutants could have been so much cooler if we had like sequels to it. It's like, I liked what New Mutants tried to do, and I like the aesthetic and I the tone that they used for that. I would like to see something like that in Doctor Strange.
Yeah, and Sam Raimi's the one to do it, man. He can mix the comedy. You know, I like Evil Dead 2. You know, a little bit of both.
Yeah.
He could do it. He's the one. Like, I mean, that's masterful choice for me. And I mean, like Sam Raimi just like is made to do that because he's a comic book nerd as well. He made the best Spider-Man movies. He's got and Bruce Campbell, man. Like, oh my god.
Yeah.
When Bruce Campbell appears, that's it. Like, when Bruce Campbell appeared at the end of Darkman, I was like, Bruce Campbell is Darkman, because technically that was Darkman at the end. And so, I mean, that's good enough for me. Just having Bruce in there's enough.
See, that's another thing. I was like, I want to see Tobey Maguire back as Spider-Man too. That's like right in the old nostalgia right there. Because is it funny? I just want to see him go bully Maguire on Tom Holland.
Tom Holland is a product of bad decision making on the part of the MCU. How they introduced him, and it sucks that he's like. I don't have anything against Tom Holland. I don't like the costume that much, but again, because it's tech based and not like whatever realistic based, and I think it's like CGI and stuff sometimes too, which is so weird. It's so weird, but yeah, I mean, his villains are like Mysterio was wicked and Vulture was awesome, man. Like,
yeah, Michael Keaton saved that movie.
He's Vulture's my favorite villain in Marvel of all villains, and Michael Keaton was just like scary. Like when he's like, "I'll kill you," it's like you mess with me, I'll kill you. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, because in the comics, Vulture was just the old crotchety old man in a leotard.
But I love him. I
know.
Vulture. I love the old. But I'm glad this new interpretation I still love because it was a little bit more modern and scary. So I thought it was done very well. So yeah, Tom Holland, poor guy. He got the short end of the stick. He's got this really crappy Iron Man Jr. thing going on, and you're just like, one of the first characters of Marvel to be treated as such a waste.
Yep, I do. I like Tom Holland, and he's in that. There's that movie with him and Daisy Ridley coming out. What the hell is that? I can't think of the name of it offhand, but there's a movie with them two coming out right now. I saw it advertised. It doesn't look too bad, but I don't know. It's kind of like I go back to Andrew Garfield. It's like he was a good Spider-Man, but not a good Peter Parker.
Yep.
That's he's too like hip and like too pretty to be Peter Parker. It's like no.
Yeah, in the costume, like the silhouette, especially in Amazing Spider-Man 2, where it had more of the traditional costume.
Yeah.
With like the sort of the Todd McFarlane larger eyes. That silhouette and the way he moved and the way he talked and he did a lot of quipping and all that. That was awesome. And then the rest of that movie was utter trash, and it's like if I could have removed him and put him in a better script, it's like could have had something there, but well, I guess they missed that opportunity.
And I like where they were going with Rhino. I really do like the mech suit. I take or leave Paul Giamatti. But yeah, the mech suit thing is cool. I like that concept for Rhino because we haven't got Rhino up until then. And it's like I don't want to see a dude in a leotard with a horn on his forehead. I want that like kind of mech suit thing. Like in the comics that was one thing. In the animated shows. But
what about the PlayStation game? He looked like that. I have a statue of that just up there. It's on a screenshot. I think that's kind of cool. Where it's a little bit of it's still a guy, but he has like armor on him.
I've seen pictures of that one. I never played the game, but yeah, I've seen pictures of it. Yeah, see something like that. Yeah. Like I like that concept. That's what I want to see. Like if they do a Rhino finally. But I'm waiting for a Sinister Six movie. That is that's something I've been. And Sony had one greenlit back in the day, and then that got canceled. It's like another one too. It's like where's my Black Cat movie? Like where's Felicia Hardy's fine ass? I want to see her on screen, man.
Yeah, but they're not going to do it. When you say that and you're picturing it in your mind, that what you're picturing is not going to happen.
I know
in today. That's the main problem. When somebody announces something like, "Oh, we're going to do this," and then you start picturing in your mind, "Wow, how amazing is this going to be?" And you're like, "Oh, this is not what I pictured at all." And that's the real problem that happens.
Yeah.
So even if they did Black Cat, it ain't going to be that Black Cat.
No, it'll be something weird and just it won't be the Black Cat that we recognize from the books at all, not at all. And that does a disservice because then you have like fans that are like, wait, it was like when they did, this is nothing against Zendaya because she is a lovely, talented, she's an amazing actress. But her as MJ, Mary Jane, just it's not a good fit.
She's not even Mary Jane. She's a different. So it's like, why do you even bother toying with the fans? Like, just name her something else, and she could be one of Peter's girlfriends. I don't understand why that's a problem. Like, why call her MJ? Just and it's not Mary Jane. But I mean, to a Spider-Man fan, you're like, oh well, is that MJ? Is that not MJ? What is going on? Like, they could have called her Christine, and then just have the same movie. Literally call her something else.
Yep. That's it, you know. But yeah, they insisted on trying to. Uh, it just it bothers me. It's like you have all the tools to do this right. You have the know-how. You can do this right, but yet you choose to go another direction altogether. It never makes sense to me why they do the creative decisions. It's like the new Thor movie. All right. It's holy hell. If they have half of the characters in this movie that are rumored and reported to be in it, the cast in this is going to be like Endgame. It's going to look like the final battle in Endgame all over again. I mean, they've announced like everybody and their brother is in this movie. It's like, you know, and it's Taika Waititi. I don't know. Are you a Ragnarok fan?
I'm gonna say yes. I'll tell. Okay, let me put it to you this way. I love Thor Ragnarok. To me, is my favorite Marvel movie actually. But it's a very poor representation of Thor, Loki. Hulk is okay in it. Valkyrie is not the from the comics. Like, it's a different character. So it's not a great movie for Marvel comic fans, I think. But for me, it's one of these ones where I love Jack Kirby, and all of the designs and the visuals are right out of Jack Kirby's kind of style. With all of the characters looking so unique, and the guards, you know, all the different guards and the races of people and all that. It looks like a Jack Kirby thing come to life, and that transported me to like another world where I'm like, wow, this is so cool. And it's like Flash Gordon, the 1980s movie, which is in my top 10. You know, I felt something like that where I'm like, wow, this is a great adventure. But if you evaluate that as a Thor movie, it's kind of crappy, because it's like, well, Thor doesn't, you know, he is jokey, but he really shouldn't be jokey. That's the thing. Like, he shouldn't be as jokey as he is. And Loki should be an evil scumbag. Like, Loki in Avengers 1 was the best.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, kneel before me, you
Loki.
losers. That's Loki.
Yeah.
Like, I shouldn't be excited to see Loki and Thor hamming it up. You know, and I'm like, I know people really like that, but Loki needs to be evil. I don't know. And so it weakened him, because it made him more likable. And I mean, Loki's great, but he's not evil. You know, you're supposed to, you know, hate him but like him. You know.
Yeah. Loki that threw that dude up on the table and gouged his eyes out.
Yeah.
That's Loki.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Taika Waititi. I mean, he seems okay, but I don't like when people start attacking the fan base where there's no need to attack it. Like, you know, he's like, there was no need for him to tweet that out. Like, people liked your movie, so let it go. Like,
I'll ruin your mythos in a minute, baby. You don't know what you want because I haven't given it to you yet.
Like, what a pointless thing, and that pissed me off. I'm thinking, buddy, I loved your movie. Why are you being weird now?
Now you're attacking the fans and shit. Like,
anytime, and if you attack a fan for whatever reason, because not everyone agrees with my opinion, I don't care. But you don't attack fans no matter what they think. If they say your movie's garbage, you don't attack them. If they say your movie is good, you don't attack them. Period.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. No, you're spot on there. I mean, it is. That's not an unreasonable thing, you know. Hey, just don't shit on the fan base that pays you. You know what I mean?
Pays money to go to the thing.
Yeah, and that brings up another good point that J-Man was just saying. You know, going back to the Gina Carano interview, she talked about how Disney basically sent a social media PR person over to her house to talk to her and stuff. Like, they should do something like that with everybody, because all these people over there are attacking fans and doing all this stuff that is just not good for the company and the IPs that they hold, that they're trying to build up. You know, this should be common sense for those people, and they don't seem to get it. And Ryan Johnson, I mean, he's the worst. But
Yeah, I mean, and they're not even like, he should. I don't know what. Oh gosh, Ryan Johnson didn't make that movie in a bubble. Like, there was other people there. Like, at some point, like, somebody has to say, buddy, like, you don't ruin Luke Skywalker. Like, the two offenses are ruining Luke and ruining Han.
Yeah.
If those two, if none of the original 3 or 4 characters, whatever, if none of those original characters were in the sequels, then we would just have so-so movies. You'd be like, Yeah, that was okay. There's some action, whatever. It's very difficult to point out anything good when you're watching a character that you love be dismantled and ruined before your eyes. And you're like, well, I really like that fight. That was a cool fight when they were fighting the Praetorian Guards. That was sick. Yeah, but now Luke's a loser. It's like, I can't. It's like same with Force Awakens. Han Solo dies like a schmuck at the end of the film. Like,
yeah, dude. He just dies like a sad old man.
Yeah, my wife doesn't care. My wife only likes the original trilogy and Rogue One, and that's it. She hasn't watched Mandalorian. She's a very casual Star Wars fan. She's watched them all. She's like, yeah, they're okay, whatever. Yeah. But even she was like, she's like turns to me in Force Awakens. She's like, well, Han Solo. It's like, oh, he's not with Leia. What happened? And I was like, I don't. There is no explanation. It's just stupidity. He's not there. Yeah. It's like, why did he leave his son? I don't know. And then she's like, oh, he just died there. She's like, is he dead? I'm like, yeah, he's dead. It's like, he's dead. And she's like stunned. And I'm like, you don't even care about Star Wars and you're questioning this.
Yep. Mine was the same way because, we'd watch the prequels in the original trilogy. Like, she wasn't much of a Star Wars fan. And I kind of, I brought her over to the dark side. And yes, everything is proceeding as I had planned. But no, she'd like, we watched, when Rise of Skywalker came out on Disney Plus, because I went to the theater to see it with my mom and my sister, because like my mom took me to see Return of the Jedi in '83. That was the first one I got to see. Yep. And her health wasn't the greatest at the time. So I was like, hey, we're going to go see this because we might never get to go see another Star Wars movie in the theater together. So we went and watched it. I said, I'm going to warn you right now. I know all the spoilers. And if this shit is true, I'm probably going to curse a little bit. And me and my sister went, we were blazed up, we were ready. We knew it was going to, my sister's like, it's not going to be bad. I'm like, oh, it's going to be bad. Trust me. Within the first, 3-4 minutes of the movie, I'm sitting there and I was like, motherfucker, like out loud in the theater. I'm just like, come on. Like, I couldn't help it. And then the end when, they stole the, I am Iron Man and Rey was like, I'm old at Jedi. It's like, bitch, you're not Iron Man. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop. Palpatine's like, come inside me. I mean, you're my daughter. Don't come inside. I mean, I'm going to come inside you. This is very awkward. JJ can't write for shit.
Oh, no. They can't even write their own woke stuff because the ending of that movie, when she says, are you Rey? No, I'm Rey Skywalker. Literally, she should have just said, I'm Rey. And then she says, Rey what? I'm just Rey. Because then that's like saying, look, I'm going against my grandfather. I'm not a Palpatine because I don't want to be, but I'm also not a Skywalker. I'm leaving this whole thing behind me. And now I'm going forth as a strong, independent woman that has no ties to any man. And I can go out on my own. That's the proper way you would write the way that they would want you to interpret that character. Not saying I'm Rey Skywalker. Oh, so you're just a man. You're just taking a man's name. Like, they can't even write their own woke stuff. Like they have these woke ideas, but they don't know how to write them anyway. It's so bad.
Yeah, I remember watching The Last Jedi, and it was at the end of the movie when the First Order's outside of the abandoned rebel base, and they brought up the Death Star type weapon to blow the doors out, and Finn is heading straight towards that thing because he's going to crash into it, blow it up, and save everybody. And I was like, wow, he's going to sacrifice himself. If they do this is going to be a powerful way for him to go out. Han should have went out like this, not the way he went out. And then here comes dumbass Rose Tico crashing into him. And I'm just like, what? Oh God. And then at that point, it was just like, all right, this movie is terrible.
And then she Me Too'd him.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, to make matters worse, they didn't even follow up on the fact that she loves them. So it's like you made that scene even worse now. Like it was stupid when it happened, and now if you go back and rewatch it, knowing what you know, it's even worse. It's like, how do you not? They can't tell stories. They just kept one-upping each other. Oh, I'm gonna erase your thing. No, I'm gonna erase yours. It's like, okay, fans suffer.
But they don't care about the fans. It was just a war between John. It was a battle of attrition, is what it was. Yeah. I mean, that's basically all that whole trilogy was. It was like bad idea after bad idea. Then the snowball started rolling downhill, and it just never. Well, it stopped all right, and it stopped dead in its tracks with the rise of Soy Walker. I was actually waiting for Rey to be like, when she says I'm just Rey, and And that old lady's like, "Oh, you don't have any people? You'll race solo." And I was like, "Oh!" And then you hear the Larry David, dun, 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 dun. And that's the end of the fucking movie, written and directed by Larry David. It's Curb Your.
I love Curb Your Enthusiasm, man. I love it. It's so funny.
That's fucking that's how that trilogy should have ended, right? Either that or with a Benny Hill ending. They're all just chasing each other around the deck of the sky, the Star Destroyer on fucking space horses.
Yeah, the Star Destroyer literally, the captain literally just could have said,
"Turn sideways."
Yeah, turn the ship sideways. You know,
turn fucking sideways.
Like, you know, we'll let gravity do all the work.
Yeah. What the fuck? Are there little do they have specialized magnetized horsey shoes on right now? Is that what they're doing? We had time to fit them with those. This ragtag band of rebels happened to know that this was going to happen.
Yeah, I'm sitting there like, is this a Star Wars movie that we're watching? Like, what is happening here?
Yeah, there's some issues there. But speaking of issues, it's about that time, ladies and gentlemen, about time to shut her down for the evening. This has been a freaking great episode. This has been a lot of fun. J-Man, thank you for coming on. I'm going to give you the spotlight here, sir. Go ahead and plug your channel.
All right, so I talk about comic books, mostly X-Men stuff, but I branched out into other things, and I do some TV shows, movie reviews. We are doing WandaVision every Friday, so I'm live streaming that. I kind of bring people in as well to join into the conversation if anybody has an opinion or a thought. So that's kind of what I'm doing now, and I'm also talking to just X-Men fans here and there. If anyone has any kind of passion and they want to come on and talk to me, I invite everybody, and I invite everyone's opinion. I never censor a comment. I never censor anybody. If they don't agree with me, that's okay. You can argue with me. You can bring your points up. I don't care what your ideology is. I just want to talk geek talk and connect with the fans in that way. So that's it.
Absolutely, man. That's awesome. Thank you for I know Tony's dropped your link in the chat. So if you're not subscribed to J-Man, get over there and subscribe to the channel. Enjoy the content. Thank you, sir, for coming on, man. Absolutely.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You are welcome anytime, man. Cool. And this man doesn't need an introduction from me, but I'm gonna give him one anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Glenn from Echo Base Network.
Hell, guys, as always, it has been a pleasure being on with all of you. All three of these guys are great. They are all supporters of our channel, and we appreciate their support. And I love coming over here and showing support over here for ETEP and the crew over here. They do great stuff. I tweeted this out and put it out on our Facebook, and so I want to thank all of our folks that have come over. I hope you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and tune in for future content from ETEP, because like I said, he does great stuff.
I appreciate the kind words, man. Thank you. I do appreciate it, Nick. And yeah, I've we've got 4 new subscribers during the stream today.
Nice.
So
awesome.
Hail to you guys, man. I'll talk to y'all in a minute. Thank you, Nick. Let me give it over to my co-host, Mr. Tony Tone Deaf.
Sorry, I'm sharing links over here. Look, if you're into bullshit opinions, if you're into maybe a little bit of verbal abuse, and you are, come on over to the Clown World Review. We just streamed the other day for Zelda's 35th anniversary. The Legend of Zelda is 35 years old, and I'm a lifelong fan, so that makes me feel old, but it was a fun time. I love that franchise. Looking forward to some great games in the future, and it was all discussed on the stream, so you can check that out. Also, I'm going live tomorrow. I'm going to be breaking down that Gina Carano interview. Might be talking a little bit of WandaVision as well. It's going to be an early morning show. Look for it around 7 a.m. on the West Coast, 10 a.m. on the East Coast. And if you can't be there live, you can always go back and listen on later in the day. Always big things happening. We've got some things behind the scenes going on, some production work going on. So yeah, it's always a good time. And thanks for joining us tonight. Now I am going to make like a baby and head out.
Thank you as always, Tony. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And you guys in the chat, man, thank you all for being here. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're not. You're here with me in front of my fucking green screen that is not working right now, which I don't, whatever. But yeah, I'm Itepokuyan of the Place to Be Reviews. So thank you guys. I appreciate each and every one of yous for being here. You can find me here every Monday night, 8:30 to 10:30 Eastern. Monday night going in Raw, then over on TR4 on either Enter the Unfamiliar or author Stephen Walton's channel at 6:30 Eastern on Tuesday nights for TR4. Wednesday is 7:30 on Sporking News for the Humpty Dump. Wednesday night, right back here, 8:30 Eastern for Going Rogue. That's my Rogue Entertainment show. Thursday morning, we're live at 9 Eastern until 10:30 for Mornings with the Place to Be Reviews. Friday night, Fandom Menace Friday Night Live here, 7 p.m. till 8:30 every Friday night. On Mondays, you get those Batwoman reviews. Starting next week, you will get Batwoman and Walking Dead reviews on Monday. Prodigal Son will be back in a couple weeks. You get those on Wednesdays. And your regular pop culture videos, you get your WandaVision reviews on Saturday or Sunday, depending on my weekend schedule. So, yeah, plus all the goodness that I'm trying to bring to you guys. So I appreciate everybody for subscribing, being here watching, bitch slapping that like button. I sign it out every time by saying, I mean, Itepokuyan of the Place to Be Reviews. I've been here with all of yous. And remember, if I don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow, and I'll catch you on the next one.